is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
And the snow is still falling across parts of central Indiana, but the good news, it is going to be moving out pretty quickly here this morning. We'll detail your hour-by-hour Storm Team 6 forecast.
And a widow is filing a lawsuit after her husband was shot and killed by an Indiana state trooper. The claim she is making against the state police and the city of Crawfordsville.
And a Clinton County family's holiday decorations are getting national recognition. We'll show you their latest display as they compete on a television show, The Great Christmas Light Fight. It is 5:01 here on your Tuesday, Storm Team 6 Alert Day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. And if your Christmas lights were left on overnight, you probably can't see them. They are likely covered in snow, Todd.
They look great. You can kind of see the snow just like lit up. It's beautiful out there, if you ask me. Now the roads, they were a little rougher
who had
here.
Roughly a half-hour drive into work. Yeah,
well, that's your choice. You move. But otherwise, it is a little bit of a rough drive here this morning in spots across the area. But the snow is starting to wind down across the area. That is the good news. The most snow we have is on the eastern side of the state. It's showing up as snow, but it's mixing with a little bit of freezing drizzle here as you work your way off towards the south and east. But Muncie over to Richmond, it's not another question. You could pick up a little more in the way of accumulation. And by little, we're only talking about another quarter to maybe a half an inch, and that's just about it. Same here in southern locations. But again, you have to just give yourself some extra time with the roadways being pretty slick. My drive in, which isn't very far, I just have to come through downtown, and it was pretty slick, and the roads were all still covered. The winter storm warning has been dropped, replaced now with a winter weather advisory for most. It does not include, though, northern locations here. Lafayette and Peru, you did not get into as much in the way of snow. The better news is by this afternoon, we're back into the sunshine, so it's really just what we're dealing with right now on the roadways and the light snow that's falling. By the time we get to the noon hour, the snow's done, mostly cloudy skies, and then as the clouds break for some sunshine, temperatures will be in the 20s, Lauren, later on today.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at our traffic now map as you're heading out on the roads. You can see the interstates are a little yellow this morning, not due to heavy traffic, but due to you needing to reduce your speed as you're heading out there. We did have one crash up on the north side. This is now clear. I wanted to show you this. It was in the right lane of westbound I-465 and Keystone Avenue. Our live drive vehicle went past that, and they tell us everything is looking pretty good in that area. So let's take a look right now from our INDOT traffic camera. This is over on the west side, I-465 and Crawfordsville Road. Looking closer here, you can see we do have wet roads on the interstates, but they're mostly clear from snow. The problems, really the trouble spots, are those ramps, bridges, and overpasses and secondary streets. To give you a better look at what you can expect for your commute, let's check in with Kelsey Anderson. She's in our live drive vehicle, the passenger seat. Kelsey, you're telling me you guys are heading towards I-69. Where exactly are you guys right now, and what's it looking like out there?
All right, so we actually passed I-69, so now we are on 465 West on the north side of town. And 465 on the north side is actually looking pretty clear. Just you can see that the roads are a little bit wet, much clearer than 465 on the east side of town, where we saw a lot of packed snow still on 465. We haven't made it off of any of the ramps, but we have seen that they are still snow covered, very slick. People are definitely slowing down quite a bit. When we were getting onto 465, we had to go considerably under the speed limit. We were actually behind a dumpster that had the big sign caution, and that's kind of the word for today is caution. Go slow, give extra room between you and the drivers ahead of you, because that's really the main problem we're having right now is the water from other people's cars in front of us getting up on our windshield. That's the biggest issue we're dealing with right now on 465 West on the north side of town, but we'll continue to update you on road conditions throughout the morning. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. This morning, plows are still working to salt and clear the roads. We rode along with one driver to get a first-hand look at what you should and should not do when driving near a plow truck. This is something to keep in mind all winter long. Drive along the parts of the road that are already clear. That's your best bet to avoid any issues. No matter what kind of rush you're in, do not try to pass a plow on the shoulder or on a single-lane road. The full INDOT snow force call-out lasts until noon today.
This winter weather is tough on everyone, but especially on folks who are already having a hard time, like homeless youth. Courtney Modisette is the program director for Stopover Inc., a nonprofit dedicated to helping young people who are experiencing homelessness. She says when the weather looks like this, those young people, they go into survival mode, and that can sometimes put them in dangerous situations.
Human trafficking is big. You have 10th Street right there. and 10th Street is full of drugs and crime. So we try to protect the kids as much as we can.
Those young people need to get in contact with Stopover Inc. They can do that in a few ways, including through Indigo. A person can go to any bus driver, tell them that they need a safe place, and the program organizers will pick them up at the transit center. You can find more about the program and how you can help in this story in the RTV6 app.
A suspect has pleaded guilty to stabbing and shooting a man to death in Indianapolis Kroger. 39-year-old Jason Cooper pled guilty to murder charges. As part of the agreement, charges of resisting law enforcement and robbery were dropped. The incident happened inside the Kroger on Southeast Street in October of 2017. The victim, 43-year-old Carlos Castro, was stabbed and shot with his own gun after he refused to give Cooper his cell phone. Cooper then led police on a high-speed chase before being arrested. He is scheduled to be sentenced December 30th.
A family of a man who was shot and killed by an Indiana State Police trooper has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against state police and the city of Crawfordsville. Investigators say that Indiana State Police trooper Daniel Organ shot Glenn Reitzel on December 28th of last year along US 231 north of Crawfordsville. The suit alleges that Reitzel was working on his daughter's broken down car when that shooting took place. State police say that Reitzel grabbed a handgun and disobeyed commands, forcing them to fire. In the lawsuit, Glenn Reitzel's widow, Gloria, claims that police unreasonably delayed his access to medical care.
Every day I wake up and it's a nightmare. Every day. I mean, I play this over and over and over in my head again. You know, I was sent all the way to Brownsburg before they told me it was still in Crawfordsville. And by the time I got to Crawfordsville, he was dead.
In March, the Montgomery County prosecutor concluded that Trooper Daniel Organ did nothing wrong.
Changes are on the way in Boone County after the community turned to RTV6 about this dangerous intersection. County commissioners approved the change to create a four-way stop at County Road 100 South and 400 East in Lebanon. Right now it is just a two-way stop. After Sherry Dennis died at the intersection, her family reached out to RTV6 to share their concerns. Now the county commissioners are taking action.
Our mission is to have zero fatalities in our county, and so when we have a fatality and the concern of the community, as well as the help from the news organization and accurate reporting, really drove this forward.
Commissioners say over the past 10 years, there have been 26 crashes at that same intersection. The additional stop signs should be installed within the next few weeks. Once they are up, the penalty for those who fail to stop will be a $100 fine.
It's 5:08. Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative to connect you to job opportunities and the training needed to get those jobs. This week, more help for hundreds of Hoosiers impacted by Celadon's shutdown. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development and Employ Indy will hold a virtual job fair for former Celadon workers on Thursday morning. The online webinar will begin at 10:30 a.m. and it will allow several companies to explain their hiring opportunities. To register for the virtual job fair, you can go to the IndyChannel.com or the RTV6 app and just click on the link in that story.
The Indianapolis Colts are out of playoff contention after a record-setting night for Saints quarterback Drew Brees. The Purdue grad passed former Colt Peyton Manning for the most ever career NFL touchdown passes, reaching a total of 541. Brees threw 4 touchdowns in last night's game, leaving the final score 34-7. This is the Colts' 4th loss in a row. They play at home next Sunday against the Panthers. You can't be mad at that, though. Drew Brees, such a great guy.
Yeah, we're happy for him. Time now is 5:09. A Clinton County family is getting national recognition for their Christmas lights. The Cottrells from Rossville, they're featured on today's season finale of the Great Christmas Light Fight. It's right here on RTV6. We got a preview of their amazing light display. Take a look here. The families come from all over and drive through these lights.
Wow.
We talked to one couple who visited as kids, and now they're back bringing their own children to see the Cottrell lights. You can see if they win the Great Christmas Light Fight this afternoon from 3 to 5 o'clock right here on RTV6. That's pretty impressive.
Oh,
it's a lot of work.
I have a hunch you're going to get your husband on the phone as Todd is doing weather and requests that he goes out and buys some more lights so your yard can look like that.
I know. Our yard is a little sad this year.
I was going to say, and a little bit smaller than that.
And a little smaller, yes. Pretty impressive.
All right, Todd, what are people looking at as they head out the door this morning?
You know, slick roads roads out there across parts of central Indiana. You have to remember, not everybody got back into the snow yesterday. Northern locations, not nearly as much snow as in the metro area and just south of downtown. So as you cross the miles here over central Indiana, just know that the road conditions, especially if you're traveling north and south, will change pretty quickly over, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles. So be aware of that. When I mentioned that the snow showers continue this morning, little to no additional accumulation. That is the good news. This afternoon, clouds break for some sunshine. And with that sunshine and temperatures near freezing, there could be a little bit of melting. I point that out because this evening, once the sun sets with clear skies, there could be a little bit of refreezing that takes place. But this morning, your commute, again, it's going to be a slick one in spots with temperatures that are right around 29 degrees through the duration of the morning drive, with those snow showers continuing mainly on the eastern and southern portion of the state here this morning. To the north, again, not a whole lot has happened here throughout the last 12 hours. Lafayette to Kokomo, Peru, you never really got back into the snow as this whole system starts to pull out. So we're basically done with the snow once we get through the course of the next few hours, and then we're just talking about sunshine this afternoon. But you can track the snow with radar. You can control on the Storm Shield app. This would also alert you to the winter weather advisory that is in place through 9 a.m. They downgraded the winter storm warning, so that is good news. And the best news is Storm Shield, it's a free app. You can get it for your iPhone and your Android. We'll talk more about your extended forecast, which I think you're actually going to like, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. A big opportunity has opened up for undocumented immigrants in New York. Coming up, the law now allowing them to get a driver's license.
And Amazon is banning FedEx from shipping to Prime customers. Still ahead, why the shipping giants aren't getting along this holiday season.
And we are looking at live drive heading southbound on I-465 this morning. Looking like the interstates are fairly clear from snow. The crews have been out there working, but a lot of the ramps and other areas around the metro, you're going to need to use caution. Areas farther out, even more caution, and give yourself that extra time this morning. We'll continue to keep a close eye for any crashes or delays, and we'll keep you updated when Good Morning Indiana returns just after the break.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. Time right now is 5:15. Here's a live look right now at traffic at I-65 and I-70 at the South Split. You can see some of the snow cover still on the roads this morning. The interstate's mostly clear, but you may still run into some slick patches, so just give yourself that extra time. Traffic is still flowing this morning because it's not too heavy, but as we get close to rush hour, we'll continue to keep you updated on any delays.
A former Trump campaign official charged in Robert Mueller's Russia investigation will learn his fate today in federal court. Rick Gates pleaded guilty in 2018 to charges related to political consulting work he did in Ukraine. Gates has been cooperated with the Justice Department in several investigations and is not expected to go to prison. He would be the first of the 6 Trump associates charged to not end up behind bars. 2 more are still awaiting sentencing.
Undocumented immigrants in New York can now apply for driver's license. People lined up in the cold on Monday to take advantage of the state's new green light law. It allows people without a social security number to submit other forms of ID like a passport. Supporters say the law will increase the number of insured drivers and reduce hit and runs, but critics say it conflicts with immigration law.
If you traveled through LAX this month, health officials say you could have been exposed to measles. Los Angeles County public health officials say 3 people infected with the virus traveled through LAX last week. They were in the airport on December 11th between 6:50 and noon. Health officials say anyone who was in LAX's terminals 4 and 5 during that time may have been exposed to the disease. The disease can develop up to 21 days after exposure. Here at 5:17, let's send it over to Todd for a check of our weather.
All right, as you walk out the door here this morning, we're still dealing with a little bit of snow falling out there. It's all very, very light, and as far as a potential accumulation, it's not really going to amount to much more, but there is some freezing rain here in southeastern locations. So for those of you heading towards Cincinnati or in the Greensburg area or the Columbus area, just know that some of the snow there is falling as a little freezing drizzle, and poor road conditions being reported across parts of central Indiana. It's not everywhere. It's the north, they're not too too bad in and around the metro area and just south of downtown, where the heaviest of the accumulation took place yesterday. They're a little worse, but nonetheless, National Weather Service continues this winter weather advisory for all the counties you see in purple until 9 o'clock here this morning. So things are starting to wind down as far as the snow goes, and some of the darker shades here could put down an additional coating to maybe up to a ½ an inch. This light white you see here, that's just really a few flurries that continue to make their way through the Anderson area, Bloomington to Martinsville over towards Greenwood, some light snow showers, Nashville as well. Here's a pretty good burst of snow in Greensburg, and some of this again maybe mixing with a little bit of some freezing drizzle out there. So you still have to give yourself some extra time, but this is the back edge of the snow that is going to move out. Once that moves out, the skies will actually clear pretty quickly throughout the day today, and we'll have a good amount of sunshine. And with that fresh snow on the ground and the sunshine reflecting off of that, you're definitely going to want to have the sunglasses handy. You may not need them initially this morning, but I think you'll want to have them later on this afternoon. By 2 o'clock, there are the clear skies that we'll have across the area. And then once we get past the snow showers this morning, not only do the skies clear this afternoon, but we enter a pretty long stretch of quiet weather across the area. So as far as additional accumulation, you could see up to maybe another 1/10 of an inch in some eastern and southern locations, maybe 2/10 of an inch, and that should be just about it. So it's not a bad day. It's just a little bit of a slow morning drive for you across the area with the clouds still in place this morning. Those will break for sunshine here by the noon hour, and then plenty of sunshine throughout the afternoon hours. But notice the temperatures. They really don't do a whole lot throughout the day today. We'll hover right around 30 degrees through the noon hour, and then we'll only be in the upper 20s throughout the course of the afternoon. Tomorrow, as we work our way throughout the day, look at this. Highs only going to be in the 20s. There's very little warming that takes place tomorrow. In fact, the temperatures actually go down. So tomorrow's a day you really need to bundle up across the area. 20s falling into the teens, and by the time you wake up on Thursday morning, many locations, especially where the snowpack is a little thicker, we're going to see temperatures that are going to be only in the single digits. So Thursday is very cold in the morning, but once we get past Thursday morning, temperatures do start to moderate quite nicely. We're in the upper 30s. By Friday, that'll be seasonable. And then by the time we get to next week, Sunday and Monday, high temperatures will be in the 40s, maybe approaching 50 degrees. That will melt any snow. And with no additional storms in sight, that means it is not looking very good, Lauren, for a white Christmas here across central Indiana.
Okay, Todd, so we need to soak it up today and remember what this looks like out here, I-465 and Benford Boulevard. We can have our white Christmas a little bit early. This is a look here on the northeast side, I-465 and I-69, where traffic is moving along up to speed for the most part, so that is good news. But road conditions are not great everywhere. We want to check in with Kelsey Anderson. She's in the passenger seat of our live drive vehicle. Kelsey, looks a little bit treacherous in the lane that you guys are in right now. Where are you guys at, and how's it been treating you out there?
All right, so we are getting off of 465 South right now at the Crawfordsville exit. And we just want to kind of give you a look at what these ramps are looking like this morning. The interstates look fine. They're pretty decent. You still need to use caution. But here on these ramps, that's where we're seeing the big problems. People are having to go very slow. And this is actually one of the better ramps we've seen today. But usually they've been snow-packed and just slushy and slick. So especially on these downhills, you can find yourself sliding. So again, just the word of the day is caution, go slow, give extra room between you and the person in front of you. And then also we've noticed people aren't cleaning the top of their cars off. So once you get on the interstate and start going fast, all you're doing is just making a bad day for the person driving behind you, and all that snow flies off your car. So be sure to do that before you hit the roadways this morning, just to make it safe for you and all other drivers. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. Stay safe out there. It is crunch time for holiday shopping and deliveries, and Amazon is worried FedEx won't get the job done in time. Amazon is banning third-party sellers from using FedEx ground shipping for delivery to Prime members. The temporary ban suggests Amazon thinks the service is too slow to get packages delivered by Christmas. Sellers will only be allowed to use express FedEx shipping for Prime customers. A happy ending for a sick dog. After the break, how the stray seemingly found a forever home on its own. That's coming up.
It's 5:26. Here is a look right now at your commute in the downtown area. I-65 and I-70 at the South Split. The interstate's looking okay this morning, but other areas are pretty snow-packed. We have more than 100 school delays right now, so check those at the RTV6 app at the bottom of your screen.
A malnourished dog has found his forever home by simply wandering into it. The dog was caught on camera outside a home near Philadelphia. It slowly limps up the steps and finds his way through an open door. A neighbor saw the door open and accidentally closed the dog inside. The homeowners were asleep and say they had no idea until they woke up the next morning. Well, after meeting the stray, the family has since decided to keep her.
Aww.
What a great early Christmas gift.
What a smart dog. Finding an open door.
And an open door that leads to dog lovers at that. Wow. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. I like that story a lot.
Yes.
I do not, however, like what's going on outside, Todd.
Yeah, you know, the light snow continues to fall across parts of the area. Picked up a couple more inches of snow in spots yesterday. For those of you to the north, I know you have not seen as much in the way of snow, but here's the current satellite radar picture. Still some snow showers out there, a little freezing drizzle in southern locations and off towards the south and east. So just give yourself some extra time on the snow-covered roadways here across central Indiana. Better days are ahead, and they're brighter as well. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour. The time now is 5:27. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A state senator is hoping to reform marijuana laws in the state.
What she's proposing and how Governor Eric Holcomb is likely to respond. Plus, snow continues to blanket much of central Indiana this morning, and that's causing several districts, more than 100, to delay or cancel class.
We are working for you this morning, tracking road conditions and making sure you're prepared as you hit the streets. But first, here at 5:30 on your Tuesday morning, we want to thank you for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. We do want to check in with Todd Clausen at this hour. Todd, the snow is continuing to fall for the morning. What can folks expect as they're heading out there?
You know, we're finally starting to see the end of the snow. It started Sunday evening. We had a little bit of a break yesterday morning. Then it came back in the afternoon, and it's still snowing across parts of the area. Not to the north, Lafayette, Peru, Kokomo, Crawfordsville, Greencastle. You are done with the snow. But for those of you here on the eastern side of the state or eastern locations, you're still dealing with some decent snow in Winchester as well as Richmond as you work your way westward. These lighter bands of white, that's just a few flurries, and as we slide down to the south, there's still some decent pockets of some snow here in the Spencer area over towards Greensburg. As far as any additional accumulation, maybe up to just about a quarter to a half an inch, and that would be just about it. But just keep in mind, and I've been mentioning this all morning long, the road conditions are going to change from northern locations where you didn't see as much in the way of snow to the metro area and points to the south. There was a little more in the way of snow. So especially if your travels take you north or south, just know that the roads will be changing as you cross the miles, and that's why that winter weather advisory is still in place. Temperatures right now hovering just below freezing. That's where we stay throughout the entire day. The thing that does change, though, is once the snow showers end, we'll decrease the clouds by the noon hour, and then we'll have bright sunshine later on this afternoon. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on those roads this morning as you're heading out there. We all agreed that the roads were a little more treacherous than they were yesterday morning, so keep that in mind as you're planning what time to leave this morning. Here's a look on the south side, I-65 at Southport Road. You can see traffic in this area is still moving, so that is good news. The interstate's looking pretty good in this area. Let's take a look at our map, though. I'm monitoring a crash on the south side. This is on eastbound I-465 near Harding Street. It's blocking one left lane of traffic. You can see things are slowing down just a bit through that area, so use caution. Let's take another look right now in the downtown area, I-70 at the North Split. Traffic here looks to be moving along pretty well this morning. We do want to check in with Kelsey Anderson. She's in the passenger seat of our live drive vehicle. Kelsey, let us know where you are at and how are things shaping up out there?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we are heading eastbound on 38th Street right now. And again, it's kind of the same thing now as yesterday where it's just, just wet roads where there is that slush and it could be slick in some spots. So still advising people to give extra time, go slow, use a lot of caution this morning because like you said, the roads are a bit more treacherous today than they were yesterday. You can see coming up here, we've got a semi that slid off onto the right. here on 38th Street. So again, just giving that extra time, leaving extra space. That's the most important thing, is just giving room for people to make those errors on the slush and on the ice, because we know that driving errors are going to happen this morning, especially once the traffic picks up during rush hour. There's just going to be more people on the road, more more chances for problems to happen. So give yourself that extra time, clean off your windows the best you can, get the top of your car cleaned off. Just make sure that it's safe driving conditions for you and everyone else on the roadways with you. For now, send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kelsey, you guys be careful out there. Thanks so much. Well, the weather we've seen over the last day or so is a reminder to make sure that you are prepared with the proper tools in case of an emergency.
Especially if you're driving in winter conditions. This morning, we're working for you with a checklist of what you might want to put in your car as you drive in winter weather. First, make sure you have de-icer for your windshield. It's great for keeping the ice off while the wipers are going. Jumper cables are also a must. But if you know you're going to be driving in a more remote area with no other cars around, think about getting a rechargeable battery.
Yeah, a gas can also come in handy in an event of emergency. Also, make sure that you have a spare tire that's inflated and all the tools you need to change that if you get a flat. And if you do have room in your vehicle, pack a shovel, kitty litter, or salt. That's going to help you if you get stuck in a ditch. We have more tips like this in the RTV6 app and also online at theindychannel.com.
You can keep up to date with the latest road and weather conditions by downloading the RTV6 app. We have real-time forecasts of the snow, live radar, live traffic cameras, video, pictures, everything you need to be prepared of what's to come and what's happening right now.
And with the snow expected to last through the morning hours here, you can also download the Storm Shield app. That'll alert you to any warnings or watches.
A 35-year-old man convicted of killing his mother during an argument last year has been sentenced to 26 years in prison. Gabriel Vassy pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter charges and was sentenced Monday. Police say in June of 2018, officers were called to the Chatham Walk townhomes near 21st and Franklin Road. When they arrived, they found 54-year-old Patricia Vassy dead. Investigators believe she and Gabriel were involved in an argument and it became physical, resulting in Patricia's death.
New this morning, a 4-year-old boy is dead and his mother is in the hospital following a shooting in Gary. It happened early Monday at the Oak Knoll Renaissance apartment complex. Investigators say that Torian Dukes was sleeping in a second-floor bedroom when someone outside fired multiple shots into the apartment. He was hit in the upper torso and chest. His mother, who was 3 months pregnant, was shot in the arm and bullets grazed her face. Both were taken to the hospital, and that's where Torian was pronounced dead. 4 other children and an adult male were also in the home at the time of the shooting, but none of those people were injured. It's unclear right now if this was a targeted shooting.
An Indiana state senator is hoping to pass legislation reforming marijuana laws. Senator Karen Talion filed her comprehensive marijuana reform package Monday. It includes 3 bills. The first reverses a decision made during last session, which made hemp a legal crop in the state but made smokable hemp illegal. The second bill creates a regulatory agency for cannabis-related products, and the third bill decriminalizes the possession of small amounts of marijuana. Governor Holcomb has said he is not in favor of decriminalizing marijuana because the federal government still categorizes it as a dangerous drug.
3 firefighters with a combined 67 years of service experienced a first in their careers last week. They helped deliver a baby on Thursday, and it all happened at the New Waverly Fire Station out in Cass County. Timothy Owens was born less than 10 minutes after his parents pulled into the fire station. The next day, firefighters paid a visit to the hospital and made Timothy an honorary firefighter for life. Jeremy Heilman, Dave Shedron, and Curtis Babbs are all EMTs, but their fire station there does not have any ambulances. They said this was very rare, and it's something they will never forget. Looking so cute there.
And he looks like he's ready to make a snow angel.
Yes, he is. Just in time for the weather going down right now. Todd, still some snow out there this morning.
Yeah, you can do all the snow angels you want here throughout the day today. The snow continues to fall in spots across central Indiana. This is the last band of snow that we're going to have to deal with not only today, but really in our extended future as we're about to enter a pretty quiet weather pattern. But nonetheless, snow showers continue here from Muncie over to Richmond, back into the Greenfield area, Greenwood down into Nashville, Bloomington. And this could put down an additional coating to maybe a half an inch of snow on far eastern locations, but it's going to be a lighter snow, and so I don't really think it impacts the roadways as much as it would just pile up on the snow that's already on the ground. So as the kids head off to school here this morning, keep in mind there's some closures. There's a lot of delays out there. The snow showers will continue here this morning. We'll have lots of clouds around, 28 degrees. By the time the kids come home from school, though, we are talking about sunshine, blue skies, and temperatures that'll be right around 31 degrees. So it's really just this morning that the commute's a little rough. Check those school delays again on the RTV6 app in the IndyChannel.com or scrolling at the bottom of your screen. We'll talk more about the rest of the weekend into the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Congress is considering a measure to raise the age to buy tobacco as part of a government spending bill. Straight ahead, what that new rule would be and when it could go into effect.
And severe weather strikes the deep south with more than a dozen tornadoes touching down across 3 states. Straight ahead, we'll take a look at the trail of destruction left behind. And here is a look right now from our live drive vehicle along 38th Street. You can see traffic is getting busier, and that can make things more dangerous as we still have some snow-covered roads out there in your neighborhood this morning. We'll continue to check in with Kelsey Anderson. She's in the passenger seat of Live Drive and see what they're looking like out there as you're heading out the door to start your commute. We'll be right back after the break.
What a relief it is. So fast.
Welcome back. It is 5:42 here, and we're keeping a close eye on traffic. I-70 here on High School Road. You can see traffic over here to the west is traveling up to speed. However, as traffic is picking back up, I'm starting to notice more crashes out there, even on the interstates. So I'm going to detail all of those before you head out the door. That's coming up in my full traffic report. Now we want to go to the latest in the impeachment showdown. A full House vote is just a few hours away.
This morning, the House Rules Committee will set the ground rules for a final vote on House impeachment, which is expected to happen tomorrow. But now the focus is turning to a Senate trial. Democrats are doubling down on their demand to hear from 4 witnesses the White House had blocked from testifying. It includes Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former National Security Advisor John Bolton. But Republicans are promising total coordination with the president.
These people know better than anybody else the facts. There is no reason on God's green earth why they shouldn't be called and testify unless you're afraid of what they might say.
I am clearly made up my mind. I'm not trying to hide the fact that I have disdain for the accusations in the process, so I don't need any witnesses.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is set to meet with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to figure out the terms of that impending trial. He's hoping to have the trial start the week of January 6th and go for about 3 weeks. But ultimately, because Republicans have a majority in the Senate, McConnell will have the final say.
Also happening in Washington, the House is expected to vote today on a spending bill that would keep the government running through September 2020. The proposal includes money for border security efforts, research on gun violence, and pay raises for service members and federal workers. It also includes a bipartisan measure to raise the age of tobacco use to 21. That includes e-cigarettes and other vaping devices. If the measure passes, the FDA would have about 6 months to update its age verification rules. 19 states have already passed laws that the tobacco age should be 21.
The open enrollment period for Obamacare has been extended. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services say the deadline is now December 18th. That's this coming Wednesday, tomorrow. The move comes after weeks of low enrollment reports for 2020 Obamacare plans. Some people also had issues during the final hours of open enrollment, which was originally on Sunday.
Time now is 5:45, and an Amber Alert has been issued for 2 children out in Florida. They went missing on Sunday morning. 6-year-old Braxton Williams here and his sister Bria were last seen playing in their front yard out in Jacksonville. Family members tell police that they searched for several hours before reporting them missing. Canine teams and drones have been brought in to help with the search efforts, along with hundreds of volunteers. But investigators say there's still no trace of those children.
So right now, everything is an option. I mean, we are working multiple scenarios. Foul play could be a factor, obviously, at this point. We just don't know.
Investigators are hoping to find surveillance video that may give them some clues. Police say Braxton is on the autism spectrum, but will communicate with others. He was last seen wearing a red sweater and blue jeans. Bria was last seen wearing a gray sweater with multicolored writing on the front and black leggings.
Severe weather swept through the deep south yesterday with multiple tornadoes touching down. The National Weather Service confirms 18 twisters tore through Mississippi Monday, leaving a trail of destruction. In Lee County, officials say about 60 homes and a church were left in tatters. And just to the south in Jones County, a tornado damaged several businesses in the city of Laurel. While most of the tornadoes were seen in Mississippi, some also struck Alabama and Louisiana. Authorities have confirmed at least 3 weather-related deaths. These tornadoes are part of a major weather system that's moving east right before the Christmas holiday. A significant cold front is bringing chilly temperatures and snow to sections of the Midwest, like what we are seeing here. And Todd, we are still seeing snow this morning. When do we expect that to stop?
You know, the snow will be coming to an end here shortly. I put out the Storm Team 6 alert day this morning, and it's only for the morning hours here. Once we get to this afternoon, we'll drop the alert day because it'll be much more quiet later on. But there's still some snow falling here across parts of the area. As Kelsey's been telling you this morning, the road conditions are slick in spots. It's not everywhere where the roads are still snow covered, but certainly in some areas of central Indiana. And by this afternoon, we will have the sunshine back, so that is the good news. Here's the live look outside right now. And if you look closely here, you can see just a few flakes falling at the track there over in Speedway on the western side of Marion County. Beautiful there with the lights. And you can see the city skyline. So that just shows you that the snow is not very intense when you have decent visibility still. 29 degrees. That is the current temperature. Chilly wind out of the north right now at 15 miles per hour. And it's that northerly wind that's really going to prevent us from warming much throughout the entire day today. But with temperatures below freezing anywhere you go, obviously if the roads aren't treated, they are going to be snow covered and they are going to be slick. So you have to give yourself that extra time here this morning. The winter weather advisory for all the counties in purple, which is most of the counties here across the state, with the exception of the northern part where you just didn't get back into those decent accumulations yesterday. That goes until 9 o'clock this morning. And here's what's left on Storm Team 6 radar. You can see some snow showers stretching from Winchester through Newcastle into the Richmond area. The last hurrah's kind of making its way through the metro area right now. And it's just really these darker shades of bluish gray that you have to be concerned about. Maybe a quick coating. The light white is just a few flurries, and that is just about it. But there's the backside of things, and it'll be off to our east pretty quickly. So as we work our way throughout the day today, you actually need to have the sunglasses handy. I know it's hard to believe here this morning when we're talking about snow, but the clouds will break and we'll be left with lots of sunshine here this afternoon. And with that fresh snowpack on the ground, the sun reflects off that snow and it's bright. You'll be squinting if you don't have those sunglasses. But notice those temperatures, no warming whatsoever. 28 by 4 p.m. And then overnight tonight, we will see our temperatures really start to tumble. And by Thursday morning, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the single digits. So tomorrow's a chilly day for us with a high temperature that's only probably in the 20s. Then we get down into the single digits on Thursday morning. But by Thursday afternoon, we're back up to 33 degrees. And then the warming trend will take us into the weekend. By Saturday, a lot of the snow is going to be melting away at 39 degrees. Then as we look at your 7-day planning forecast, once we work our way into Sunday and Monday, temperatures are going to be into the mid-40s. So there'll be no snow left on the ground by Monday. And as we continue this forecast out in the coming days, as we inch closer to Christmas, it looks like high temperatures will stay, Lauren, well above normal in the low to mid-40s.
Todd, thank you. Want to let all the folks at home know that we have all the school delays and closures listed on the bottom of your screen. Also in the RTV6 app, there's more than 100 at this hour, and we just got word IPS is on a 2-hour delay this Tuesday. So keep that in mind as you're getting the kids ready for school today. We are starting to see more crashes out in the area down here on the south side. Still monitoring one in the left lane, eastbound 465 at Harding Street. To the northeast, southbound lanes of I-465, the right lane's blocked here at Pendleton Pike for a crash cleanup, slowing things down just a bit. West side of town, northbound I-465, a left lane closed at 10th Street for a crash, and Dogleg up here, the right lane, northbound I-65 at I-865, that's blocked for a crash cleanup. That's expected to last a little bit longer, so we'll continue to monitor those. We do want to check in with our Kelsey Anderson. She's in Live Drive, checking out some of the more local roads that you'll face. And also, Kelsey, we're learning about an intersection that's closed on the northwest side. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. We're at 38th and College Avenue, and we are heading toward Lafayette Road and 56th Street, where we're just learning that that intersection is closed. They're telling us that there was overnight damage to the traffic signals, and now IMPD is on scene working on traffic control. And then, of course, DPW is working to restore that intersection as soon as possible. So we are heading that way now. We'll give you an update once we get there. But so far, what we're seeing right now here on 38th Street is pretty clear roads. Just, of course, a little wet, a little slushy. So if you still want to use caution, but as far as packed snow and ice, it looks like it's pretty clear right now. I'll send it back to you guys.
Kelsey, thank you. Boeing plans to suspend production of its 737 MAX airplanes. The move comes just days after the head of the FAA said he will not recertify the MAX until sometime next year. The planes were grounded worldwide in March after 2 crashes that killed 346 people. But Boeing continued to build the planes during the grounding. There are now more than 400 in storage. The company said Monday that the continued uncertainty of the 737 MAX's future forced it to make the drastic move. No word yet on when the company will get approval to fly the planes again.
It's 5:52. Oprah has extended her partnership with Weight Watchers, now known as WW, for another 5 years. The media mogul will remain on the board and continue as an advisor and a major shareholder through May 2025. Since the partnership began back in 2015, WW stock has risen nearly 500%. As part of her extended deal, Oprah has the option of buying up to 3.3 million shares in the company, which would bring her stake up to 10%, up from 10% rather, to 12.3%.
All Mariah Carey wanted for Christmas was a #1 hit, and it finally happened. After 25 years, Carey's Christmas classic, All I Want for You, has reached the top of the charts. Of course, the singer has had #1 hits before, but the famous holiday song only peaked at #3 before now. Despite that, the singer has cashed in big time on the tune. To date, she's made $60 million off of royalties. That's a lot of Christmas presents. Mariah now has 19 #1 songs, second to only the Beatles. We will be right back here at 5:53. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
We have the meat.
The force is strong with some Pennsylvania newborns. Check out this nursery full of baby Yodas. The staff at UPMC McGee Hospital dressed up each baby in custom knitted caps with green Yoda ears. Their shirts read, "Cute I am," or "Merry I must be." The hospital reportedly has a reputation for Christmas cheer.
Well, an actor known for his comedy chops is now getting recognized for being a bit of a beefcake. Kamal Nanjiani is known for his work on HBO's Silicon Valley and his autobiographic film, The Big Sick. But the 41-year-old recently turned heads when he posted these shirtless pictures on Instagram. Nanjiani says that he's worked with multiple trainers and a catering service to achieve his new look ahead of his upcoming role in the new Marvel film, Eternals, which is due out next year. A little eye candy for all the ladies this morning. And now we're going to check in with Todd Clausen.
Your local shirt on. Your local eye candy.
That's exactly what this
Fully
looks
dressed.
like when I take off the suit. It's going on, ladies. Raphael, too.
Todd, this is a
We work out together.
This is family television.
Keep the shirt on. Yeah.
All right. Temperatures outside hovering just below freezing. Obviously, that's key with precipitation out there. It's falling as some light snow with a little light freezing drizzle in our far southeastern counties. As far as the snow goes, not really going to do too much in the way of any issues on the roadways further than what the snow is on the ground already. By this afternoon, sunshine in the forecast with temperatures that'll hold pretty steady right around 31 throughout much of the day.
You know, I'm a survivor, and it just felt like we were being attacked all over again.
Only on RTV6, a video highlighting sacrifice and heroism gets denied by Facebook. The widow of a fallen officer lashes out and reaches out to our Rafael Sanchez. Our exclusive story coming up at 6 a.m. only on Good Morning Indiana.